across this land of dreams where nothing's quite the way it seems. One man, one vote, everybody counts. Not in this democracy. Look across this land of schemes where once there was a hopeful dream. Lady Liberty from sea to shining sea. I can't see the freedom for the free.
Hello, and welcome to the first edition of the We Prepare Now podcast, where we're going to talk a little about where we've been, where we're going, and how to prepare for whatever comes our way, even if it's just to make life a little bit easier. This has been a long time in coming. Me and Bob have both talked about getting something off the ground for some time now, and this is one more step towards that. As some of you may already know, you may have even found this at our website at www.WePrepareNow.com, where you can get a lot of different information on disaster preparedness, and then also link off and join the discussions that are going on some different types of things we can do to prepare. Everything from water filtration, food preps, advanced first aid, shelter, fire, basic skills, navigation, you name it. Whatever you want to talk about, that's what this site is going to be about. As some of you may know, me and Bob both teach several thousand people a year in CPR and first aid. We do that through our other company, Indiana Safety and Health. And you could go to that website to find different types of classes as well. But we've had a lot of people come up during classes and ask some different questions on disaster preparedness. We even do some training in different facilities and corporations where we go over some different modules on this type of information and things that they can do to prepare for different types of emergencies. And when we talk about emergencies, we're really not leaning more towards the big cataclysmic into the world types of scenarios where we're going to wrap foil around our head and hide in a bunker, that type of thing. Though those are fun to talk about, and who knows, maybe something that everybody has to face. That's not our main focus. Our main focus is how to prepare for some of the smaller types of things that could happen day to day. Power outages, tornadoes, earthquakes if you're in that type of region. Even things that relate to our country. We talk a lot about financial issues, and we're not in a very good shape right now financially as a country, and how can some of that impact some of our day-to-day living? And that's our hope, is as we prepare for some of these things, it's going to expand into things that we can use in our day-to-day lives and hopefully make life a little bit easier in the long run, even if nothing happens at all. At least that's what we're shooting for. I would like to apologize a little bit for the quality. We're going to try and make the quality or the sound a little bit better as time goes on, but we wanted to get things up and running. I'm actually recording this on my cell phone on my way to work. I've got about a 30 to 40 minute commute back and forth every single day to the firehouse, and I wanted to make some good use of that time, at least until we can get things up and going a little bit more, and go ahead and hit on some of the subjects that people have been asking about and kind of get going from that aspect. So if you hear a car horn, hopefully that's not me preparing to go off on the side of the road. I'm going to try and record these as we go, but the car is pretty soundproof. I'm recording this on a Android app, actually, on my cell phone, and we'll talk a lot more about how we can use a lot of those applications in different types of emergencies. Again, remember, if I repeat a few things or make a couple blunders here and there, this is non-scripted, so I'm kind of shooting from the hip on some of this. And it's definitely going to be user-based. We want to get your input. We've got a Google number coming here real soon to where we'll be able to have people who can call in, leave messages, and our hope is to even have people on air and do some interviews with some local people on different techniques as well. Some of the things we'd like to talk about that's been suggested so far, anywhere from water filtration, food preps, advanced first aid, some more advanced splinting, bandaging, building shelters, fire and basic skills, navigation, medicines, plant life, identification, all those types of things that go into these types of scenarios. And I think we can really cover a lot of information as time goes on. But definitely don't forget the forum at WePrepareNow.com. That's where most of this is going to all be wrapped together. My goal as we make these podcasts, I'm also try and put any links to anything we talk about resources, that type of thing on the forum as well. But there's also a great download section. Once you make 10 posts on the forum, you'll be able to access that, and that has got a lot of great information. Some ebooks from everything from canning all the way up to different types of advanced shelters and things like that. So that's a great resource you'll be able to check out as well. Okay, let's jump right into it. Let's talk a little bit about some of the things that we know can happen. Tornadoes, depending on where you live, hurricanes, ice storms, which of course cause power failures, maybe local terrorist events. Hasn't happened in this area, but even smaller events that could happen. And how does that affect our day-to-day lives? As with a lot of aspects of everything in life, this can really get overwhelming. And I think a lot of people try and start to prepare, and then they find out how drastically they're underprepared. I know that was the case with myself, and it just gets overwhelming, so you just don't do anything. Well, we're going to try and break this, at least at the beginning, these first few podcasts, into how to basically start from zero and where to start from to get some basic things in order. And you will be surprised just how fast this grows, and you have your preparedness issues taken care of, and you feel a lot more secure day to day. I'm going to break this down into 3 simple stages. Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3. Stage 1 basically going to be the first 72 hours. What do you have on hand? What do you have around the house? Neighbors, friends, resources that are readily available, and hopefully 72 hours is all any of us will have to deal with. And you would be surprised, most people could simply close up their doors if it doesn't affect their house, and you have a lot of things on hand which will help get you through that first 72 hours. But our hope is to make that even more comfortable should something like that happen. Then we're going to expand on to Stage 2. Stage 2 is what happens if it's going to affect you for a week to 2 weeks. If it's something that's more than maybe just local, it involves your entire neighborhood, and things that go a little bit more long term, basically expanding that first 72 hours. Stage 3 is going to be a little bit more involved. That's going to be the long-term emergency, something that really is more of a life changer, where you may have to make some decisions. Can you even stay in your location? Are you going to have to go to a different place? We're going to talk a little bit about bailout bags, some different equipment and things you can have to make that just a little bit easier. So we'll start with Stage 1, the first 72 hours. As we go through, you're going to hear some different terms we're going to talk about that if you're not familiar with, just log on to the forum and ask that question, or you'll be able to call in here shortly and we'll be able to get that on the air as well. But our hopes is to expand a little bit deeper into each one of these individual topics we're going to hit on as we go along. So the first 72 hours, something that everybody needs to look at is, what do you have on hand? And a lot of times that first 72 hours, actually being stuck at home can be a great thing. You've seen on the news different times, especially snowstorms, ice storms, everybody is in a mad rush running out to the store. That's when accidents happen, and it makes that emergency even worse on you. So if you could just lock those doors and just relax at home with everything you have on hand, that's going to make things a lot better to get you through most of those situations. So kind of take a look around the house, see what you have available. Most people have water available. Remember, you've got 40 to 50 gallons of water should you lose any of that